But the very best thing is that he listens to you. Because nothing means more than for a man to... How did the pig tracks get on the ceiling?
Spider Pig, does whatever a Spider Pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a Spider Pig.
If your friends are nerdy and you are nerdy too, I want to talk to you. Friends talking nerdy.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of Friends Talking Nerdy. This is Tim Jasma.
I'm Sterling.
This is Ray.
In today's episode, I thought we would dip back in the past again, but this time as an older gentleman in this little soiree here, reflect on some of the cartoons from my younger friends here. So we're going to talk about cartoons in the 90s.
Ooh.
Yay!
Yeah, so the 90s, where I graduated high school, went to a college to study theater, but I really studied partying, and then I ended up working at a gas station to close out the decade. That was my decade.
Bam!
Yeah. I say let's go around the horn. We'll do what we did with previous episodes with 80s television and TV shows and movies. One of us will start off with one. We'll talk about it and just go around the horn until we're done, or one of us gets bored.
Okay.
So
someone just like, I'm bored, next.
Yeah, when's it in? Anyway, you brought the pizza, so you can start.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about Tim. Tim was talking some shit on Facebook. There happens to be one of my favorite teams of mutant reptiles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't understand how they're childish, Tim. I think they're wonderful. The fact that they're teenagers doesn't mean they're childish.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja. Fuck you. The comic.
That was the most iconic, opening for a cartoon ever.
Not as good as the Friends Talking Nerdy theme song. Anyway, just because you remember it doesn't make it good.
I remember that it was good, and it was good. You had 4 teenagers who were named after Renaissance artists. So, boom, it's already educational. The next is they're ninjas. They're fucking ninjas. So you have this team of ninjas who happen to be turtles. I mean, it's counterproductive, but I get it. They're ninjas. And then you have these really cool villains. You have Shredder. You have Leatherhead, kind of. You have Krang. And, a giant dome, super base. And then you have Rocksteady and Bebop. And, Baxter Stockman, the guy who gets turned into a fly. You have these very creative... You have these really creative villains, you know what I mean? And it, spawned a whole genre of, mutated superheroes. You have, Street Sharks, Extreme Dinosaurs, weird shows that are, super obscure, Martian Mice from Mars. I don't know. Or, no, biker mice from Mars. Weird shit like that. And then, I mean, you could say they spawned from Power Rangers, things fighting monsters, but it's awesome. And not only that, they had, a bunch of video games. You had Turtles in Time. You had the original NES that was actually based off the comic books, which was fucking hard as shit. I don't even know if anybody's beaten that. And, I don't know, over the years, they've stayed around, they've stayed relevant. Michael Bay tried his hardest to ruin them. Did you see that shit? When he, first made it? He was
they were scary as fuck.
He was just yeah, they're going to be aliens. And then they're no, they have to be mutants because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not Teenage Alien Ninja Turtles, that kind of thing.
I just remember that South Park episode where the Imagination Land, where they goofed on Michael by, and then a truck comes in and then whoosh, it explodes in flames, and then whoosh, another. Anyway.
And then lens flare. Yeah.
He's not JJ, come on.
I know.
JJ has some talent.
I know.
Wasn't the whole thing for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like they were hustling for pizza money? So like they would fight crime in doing so. Okay, that's what I thought. I never have seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just thought that they were a bunch of hustlers, like just hustling for pizza money because they were always eating pizza.
Well, it may have been. It's been a long time since I read any of the comics, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't they do a little bit of an homage to Luke Cage in terms of getting paid in pizza?
Totally.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Heroes for hire for pizza. Yeah.
I will say, when Sterling brought up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on my Facebook page before we did the episode earlier today, I put, hey, what cartoon should we talk about? And short, tiny little former coworker of ours by the name of Eric Gonzalez mentioned the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I said, that's for babies. I don't think it's for babies. I didn't really care for it. I prefer the comics better.
The comics are great.
Yeah, but it just... When you have a live-action movie with Corey Feldman as one of the...
Corey Feldman made Donatello. That was great. And then he came back and did the new series as Spike.
Sterling's pulling out a knife. No.
Fuck you, Tim! I'm just saying, it's a great show, and it has sustenance, You have... excellent work. The guy who did the voice of Raphael in the original series voiced Yakko from Animaniacs. He did, I think he did Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Yeah, you have an all-star voice cast, and then
Shredder, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air did the voice of Shredder.
Really?
No joke.
And he also, in the 80s, Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, he was the voice of the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, it was.
And Brad Garrett, Raymond's brother from Everybody Loves Raymond, he was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a really great show, and it spawned my interest with voice acting. It got me into art, my love of pizza, my favorite color orange. It was a great show.
Nice.
I mean, I can go on, but I feel like I shouldn't.
And it's cute that you and Eric think it's nice.
It's
I kid.
I do have one thing to say about this. When I was growing up as a small child, I did collect the toys from the series. And I swear to God, I had like 3 black garbage bags full of Ninja Turtles.
And by small child, he was 6 feet tall at age 7. So.
But I remember, and my mom always says,
"Mom, give me the Happy Meal."
Guilting the shit out of her. But I remember one day I come home and they're all just gone. Years of Ninja Turtle toys just gone. And then my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I gave them to Goodwill," and I was like, deer in the headlights. And then she's like, "Don't worry, I got you this play set." So it's the Ninja Turtles play set, the turtle mobile that opens up into their turtle base. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it doesn't have any of the toys. There's no toys to put in the turtle base. And then literally after that, I stopped collecting toys for a long, long time.
Aww.
And it was the saddest thing ever. It was so sad.
So depressing.
And that's the thing. Now I look at them and out of the box, not even in the box, they sell for $80 a pop without their weapons, without any of that shit. And I know someone in Florida, the West Palm Beach area, just found 3 trash bags of Ninja Turtle toys and was just jackpot. Because I had the Olympic Ninja Turtles, I had the movie Ninja Turtles. I still have this 3-foot tall Raphael that I had somewhere else. So that's still there, and I still have it with me here in Portland. But shit, man, that
it's like Linus with his blankie.
Yeah, no, except for you hold the blankie in front of Linus and just set it on fire. Yeah, it was rough. But yeah,
On that note.
See, I never really watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had more eclectic taste in cartoons.
Okay.
I was just talking to Tim earlier about, I showed him Angela Anaconda, the intro to that show, which it was a really, really, really creepy show with black and white faced characters in like a colored, I don't know, it's like really, really hard to explain, but that cartoon's really weird. And then Kablam, the series of like cartoons that Kablam came out with.
Action League Now.
Exactly, yeah. So I loved Action League Now and Prometheus and Bob.
Love Prometheus and Bob. Yeah. Life with Loopy was like terrifying.
That one was another one that I showed him too.
Super scary.
So
like,
scary.
I don't know why. Like there was one episode where she was like, I don't want to wash behind my ears. And they're like, oh, you'll grow potatoes. And I don't get that. I don't know where that comes from. And then, like, not only did she grow potatoes, but it ended up growing this entire, like, forest. Yep. And then the potatoes that grew out of the forest tried to eat her and plant her in the ground. And I kid you not, I could not sleep for, like, a week.
And they say millennials are fucked up.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. I was just like, they wonder why, like, the millennials are so freaking weird. And it's because we had such random, like, fucked up cartoons to watch.
Well, and, like, if you actually, like, pay attention to, like, Action League Now, they have some serious twists. Like, they're like, oh, hey, we're just trying to fight this giant roller skate. And then it's like, boom, Thunder Girl's sister, like, Lightning Girl is just fucking shit up. And you're like, what? We didn't even know she existed.
Yeah.
And then, like, Meltman's just like, hey, I'm melting. I'm Meltman.
He just continuously melted.
Oh, it was the best.
Oh, man. But I was also going to bring up that I didn't know that Phil Lamar voiced Samurai Jack. I just found that out. Literally just now I found that. I was like, wait a minute, what?
You have to just IMDb Phil Lamar because he does
He has
everything.
a laundry list
He
of
was
so
on Mad
many.
TV. He was Marvin in Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was...
I love that, too. They're like, you telling me? And he just drops the gun and just shoots him in the back of the head, or the front of the head, and then just blows up in the goddamn car.
I mean, that's one of my favorite movies. But he was Hermes in Futurama.
Mm-hmm. He played a bunch of voices on Futurama.
Yeah. Mad TV, of course. Mad TV is an unsung classic. I love that show.
He was so funny.
Then Stewart, of course. Mad TV. Let me do it. That's my no-no spot. Anyway, so we'll move on. What's your first choice?
You had Kablam. You had a few others. Is there like a go-to, like, awesome show for you?
Rugrats.
Ooh.
Because Rugrats was the most, I want to say, like, diverse cartoon. Because you had, like,
absolutely.
Susie. You had Chucky's dad, who was like a single father. Mm-hmm. And you had Angelica's mom, who was this boss-ass fucking CEO bitch that was like head bitch in charge, like you can
not
do anything,
shit from
not
anybody,
taking shit
talking out of the side of
Nickelodeon.
Yeah. She's like talking out of the side of her mouth. That like always threw me off.
Yep.
Where she'd have like her mouth to one side, and I'm like, I'm like trying to like move my face.
Yeah, Bell's palsy lady. What the fuck?
Like trying to bite my ear. Like, how does she talk like that?
It's called a stroke.
Anyway.
And then you had Phil and Lil's mom, who was like also, feminist, very strong woman, taking care of these twins.
I didn't even realize that like Phil and Lil's mom and dad were mom and dad.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were just friends who hung out because of that weird relationship.
Exactly,
that they had.
yeah. I was going to say something, but I don't think it's a
No,
look at what we talked about already.
Yeah, I was going to say. The other thing we could do is we could like stop, pause, say it, pause, and then if it's really bad,
well,
just
no, I
cut
was
it out.
going to say, like, the dynamic between Phil and Lil's mom, like, she was totally the, like, dominatrix of that.
Yeah.
That relationship.
Yeah,
she was, like, totally, yes, ma'am. Like, he was always, I feel like he was definitely the submissive.
Oh, totally.
In that relationship.
He was bottom bitch.
Yeah,
he was bottom bitch for sure.
Bottom bitch.
Oh, man.
What have we done to this show?
Well, and the funny thing, too, is they had a bunch of dirty jokes in that shit, too. Like, they would get, like, rental movies and stuff like that, and then they're like, oh, Space Girls from Mars, that's for me later. You know, like the old dirty grandpa and shit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that show, though, actually came into being because the one of the producers behind the show, the Klasky Trupo, whatever, they, for 4 seasons, they did the animation for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
They wanted a big cut of the show, and they said no, so they kicked them out. So that's how Rugrats was born. They wanted a show that they had a lot more control of. So, and you can kind of tell too with the type of animation, because the first couple seasons that Klasky Trupo did with The Simpsons, it does have that kind of odd appearances of their characters, and it was a lot more smoothed out when I think it's the Team Roman, they call that animation company, the ones that they took over. But yeah,
they were also one of the first shows to actually have 2 consecutive series running at the same time. So they had Rugrats and then Rugrats All Grown Up. So they were both going on consecutively, and it turned like it was originally like a made-for-TV like series for like 4 episodes, and then they were like, "This is so popular, we actually have to make this." So it was very interesting. You have a series going on where they're babies, and congruently having a series where they're older.
On tonight's very special Rugrats as adults, Tommy Pickles gets over his heroin addiction
and loses his hair all over again.
I actually really liked that Rugrats episode where they had like a glimpse in the future of like all the babies grown up. They were
where
just
they
like
thought they were grown up.
Yeah,
and they
thought
like
they
put
were
on ties.
grown up.
Yeah.
They had their like baby faces, but they had like adult bodies.
Yes, I remember that episode. They're like, "Oh, I got a ticket. A ticket to what? Reptar on ice." You know, like the police officer gives them a ticket, and like, oh god.
So when I was a kid, I was just like, "Oh, is that what like being an adult is going to be like? Awesome!" And then I'm an adult now, and I'm just like, "No, this is terrible.
Go away."
The thing about that show, though, was so fucking scary, is just, like, how many times they, like, almost die. Like legit almost die. Even in the movie, like the Rugrats movie, they were out in the wilderness. They, like, fly out of a truck and, like, almost die. And then they're in the wilderness and almost die. I'm like, I get it. Like, it's really funny. But then you also have to have these, like, people who are probably just like, this is so bad. Kids can probably, like, get, like, you know, like, oh, I can do anything. It'll be fine. Like, almost like Baby's Day Out kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But as you and I were talking earlier, it's like the people that eat the Tide Pods. Are we really losing, you know, the cure for cancer there? You know, so... Yeah.
The kids who watch like Three Stooges and hit each other with ball peen hammers and stuff.
I was talking to Luis at work today about the Tide Pod thing, and I was like, why couldn't people be like normal people like you and me back in the day and sniff some glue? Come on.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get 50 likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
The bitches love me. Any more thoughts on Rugrats?
No, I just love that show. It's an amazing show.
I would point out how freaking progressive it was. Like, not only did you have, like, Susie, but you had Susie's parents who were, like, affluent.
They actually, that's the other thing. They actually celebrated Kwanzaa on that show.
Yeah.
And I remember that episode, I was just like, oh my god, this is, like, the greatest thing in the world. Because, like, you didn't have cartoons that, like, or TV shows, for that matter, that, like, made any of that. Well, there was I think no.
There was one other show, and
Didn't Martin do one?
Martin did it,
yeah.
But we're talking about kid shows. The only other show was called My Brother and Me, and it was about a black family, and I believe they were in, like, Georgia or something like that, and they actually celebrated Kwanzaa, but it wasn't animated. It was, like, a live-action show, and it only lasted 1 season. And you have something like Rugrats that's been around for like a decade or more.
Oh, yeah. I remember this show.
Yeah. My Brother and Me.
I really liked this show.
Oh man, it was so
cute.
Funny. Yeah, and you had the brothers, and then you had this kid. I can't remember his name was like Julian, but everybody called him Goo. And then you had the dad. The dad apparently wanted to just always make gumbo. He He's just like, oh, we can get pizza. How about I make pizza gumbo? Like, I'm like, bro, I don't even know what gumbo is. Like,
yeah, this took place in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah,
it was
that was
a really great show.
That was a really good show. But when I saw on Rugrats, like, them celebrating Kwanzaa and, like...
Well, and that was the other thing, too, is, like, they lived in a nice neighborhood, Susie's parents, and they were affluent people. Like, you could clearly tell they had money. They dressed well. They didn't pander to, like, talking weird or anything like that. They were just like, no, we're normal people. This is how normal people talk. It doesn't matter where you're from. And I thought... It was just, it was all over a great show.
For me, it was just a relief to see another, like, black family on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, where is everybody? Come on. Oh, there's Susie. Yay.
Yeah.
I mean, representation, of course, is definitely important. Doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to get enjoyment from stories of white families, but representation. People need to see that for positive examples.
Yeah. I love how they did Susie's hair, too. So, like, they had, like, the braid.
Cute.
Yeah. That was always funny.
But yeah, that was it for me. Rugrats, and I have a bunch more, but I'll pass it on to you.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, my first show, I'm going to say The Simpsons. You know, it's lasted well beyond its years, but
still around.
It's still around, still kicking, and
which season are they on right now?
28 or 29.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You got to remember their first episode was Christmas 1989, and we're not taking into account the Tracy Ullman shorts that happened a couple years before that. Yeah, the official series itself.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's just funny as hell. I mean, and did a lot to kind of create a framework for me on what I thought was ultimately funny.
Yeah.
You know, I remember back to, you know, episodes like my favorite episode period from The Simpsons, I Love Lisa. That's where Ralph Wiggum it's Valentine's. He's given Valentine's to everybody else, but he doesn't get one. And then Lisa, what do you have to worry about?
I'm saying, man, I felt so bad. I like when that episode came out, and I'll let you finish your story, but like I moved to a new school, moved to a new state, and like the same thing happened. I'd been there for about a week, and I got nothing. And like I was just like,
man, who are you?
No,
I gave up after a week. Oh, they need to come to me.
Yeah, no,
oh my god.
It was, it was third grade, and like
where the bitches have to?
I didn't know anybody. Oh, it was the worst.
Also, for me though, it's stories like that you can relate to. I mean, man or woman, you can relate to Ralph Wiggum, to getting the wrong signal from somebody, getting an attraction for them, and then to kind of say, hey, no, calm down, you know, and they have that little bit of anger. But then, you know, what I loved about the fact that, you know, they still ended up being friends, even though Ralph Wiggum ended up with terminal brain cancer or something, based on how stupid he is. You know,
he was already stupid,
but he was normal stupid, not bored. No, I mean, he ate paste, ate crayons, so you know. Stupid kids to that, but I don't know, little things like that, and then, you know, just Homer Simpson throughout the years. Like the first.
Oh yeah, he definitely got stupid.
Very stupid. Yeah. I mean, I remember their first flashback episode, because before DVDs were popular, kids, people did not see these episodes. They did not binge watch them, so you needed a flashback episode to kind of give people like a greatest hits rundown. And one of my favorites was when it was the theme was April Fool's Day, and then Bart shakes up a beer can really hard
with a paint shaker.
With a paint shaker, turns the heat all the way up, and then April. Homer opens the can, and then there's an explosion. And he's out of it for a few months, and then just Homer at the end. They told him, "Oh, you had to have a lobotomy, part of your brain removed." And he's like, "Me lose brain? Uh-oh." Yeah, I still die today. I don't get why I love that, but and then other episodes, and just the characters too. I mean, Phil Hartman when he was alive on the show, Lionel Hutz.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me. And also, The Simpsons was
He was the one who did the flashback episode, too.
He did one of the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we ever do sort of a flashback episode here, I'm going to make fun of it. But that's
I don't get how The Simpsons was so good with predicting the future. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of...
Oh, man.
I'm so blown away with... They keep doing the comparison to, like, The Simpsons episodes to, like, what's happening now. And I'm just like, how the fuck do they know? Like, did they know?
No, I think, with like they had the Trump deal, Trump as president. I think they thought like anybody else did. I thought that up until Election Day 2016. There's no way in hell this moron can get anywhere near that, and people are going to laugh at the thought and not take a douchebag like that seriously. And look what happened.
Yeah, let's just do what's funny, and then life is just laughably funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With the right drugs. Anyway, so go ahead.
Well, and I mean, it spawned so many different shows. It spawned Family Guy. It spawned the Cleveland Show, and so many things to like. I mean,
of all the quality shows you throw in the Cleveland,
one of these things.
I like the show. I like the show too.
It was a good show.
I like it, but
American Dad. I mean, let's talk about all the things on Fox, but like they did Animation Domination because like the Simpsons were just so popular. You know what I mean? And then you have like weird Netflix series that I don't even know, like F is for Family and weird things like that.
Big Mouth on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't even watched that.
You should watch it.
Yeah, Netflix is just like, you should watch this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's creepy that how good Netflix is at knowing what I like. You know what I mean?
Except
like
for Adam Sandler movies.
I have not had a single Adam Sandler movie reference. No. What the fuck are you watching?
I'll delete my history. Anyway, I was going to say that The Simpsons was actually the one time I got to be cool in middle school.
Really?
Yeah. I was the first kid in school that had any sort of Simpsons memorabilia. My mother bought me a Simpsons sweatshirt, and I thought, oh my god, it's all white, I look stupid, and my fucked up hair, I'm going to go in, people aren't going to like me, and then, oh my god, that's a cool shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take credit for it.
Yeah. I had a Bartman shirt where he has like the purple cowl and like the purple cape, and like, I love Bartman. Bartman was super funny. And then they had the dance, Do the Bartman,
written by Michael Jackson.
Really?
What?
He wrote Do the Bartman. Yeah.
The other thing too is Michael Jackson was on an episode, and he actually recorded 3 different lines, or the same thing but 3 different ways. And one of them was Michael Jackson, and the other 2 weren't Michael Jackson?
No. He recorded the dialogue. So Michael Jackson impersonator came in and did the songs.
Oh, okay. That's so weird.
But that's what he asked for, and I guess he was also in the studio when the impersonator would, sing like Billie Jean or whatever. Gotcha. And I guess he laughed and then, anyway.
I think that, I swear to God, that show has to have like the world record for most guest stars ever. Because, like, not only are they either one playing themselves, or they're 2 playing something just completely weird.
But I will say this about, I think the show has become way too dependent upon guest stars the past 5 years at least. It seems like every week, special guest Hillary Duff is Homer Simpson's new secretary.
Yeah.
No, just give me a story. I mean, and I think that's another. If you think about it, like in a creative sense, as a writer, it's illogical for that show to still be around because they've really exhausted all the normal stories they can tell. So they have to go with the very outlandish if they're going to keep the kids in the same grade, keep the parents the same age. Your next one.
I can actually go like super crazy educational with Arthur. Does anybody remember Arthur?
No.
I fucking loved Arthur.
Oh my god!
Because I feel like Arthur's not going to get any love because you had
You
this.
shouldn't.
Well, no, and like, I will lump Arthur into like PBS shows, like not just Arthur, because you had great shows like Wishbone, and one of my favorite shows was this show called Songwa, and it's about this cat in like I wouldn't say feudal times, but it's like in the lording times of like Chinese culture, and they actually talk about Asian folklore, and it's one of the best shows ever.
I remember that show.
It was a great show, and that was the other thing too. Is when you had kids who didn't have like cable, you only had PBS.
Yep.
So you had
The Adventures of Richard Scarry.
Yeah, The Busy World of Richard Scarry.
The Busy World of Richard Scarry.
I love that show.
Yeah.
And then you had, I loved Wishbone because Wishbone got me all excited about reading like really crazy books. Like
that's also where Caillou came from.
Fuck
Because
Caillou.
Caillou was on PBS.
No, fuck
Why
Caillou.
does everybody hate him?
Because
He's an asshole.
No. Because I had a brother who grew up on Caillou. That was his thing. And Caillou is a whiny little bitch. And Caillou made a generation of whiny little bitches. Because, like, my brother would not get his way, and he would literally cry the way Caillou cries and yells for his mommy. He'd be like, "Mommy, Rosie took my toy! Ah!" And then, like, my little brother would fucking do that. And I'm like, dude, like, this is literally, like, no, I'm doing something. This is mine. Don't touch it, you know?
Don't touch it.
No, like, I remember I got, like, I had a flip phone, right? My, like, first flip phone when I was in high school. And he's trying to fucking take pictures with it. And I'm like, no. Because I don't know how, but he figured out how to send text messages and shit. And, like, I didn't have text messages available. But it was just so weird how this one show, and, like, I'm kidding you not, there is a whole Reddit about parents who hate this show. Because it turned their kids into whiny little bitches.
The parents contributed to that.
No, but you have, like, there was a really cool show called George Shrinks, and it's about this kid who got shrunken down, and then his dad was like a toy maker or something, and he makes him all these weird little contraptions for him to be small.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, live. It was a great show. And it was very, like, focused on ingenuity and, like, overcoming your handicaps in regards to his size. And then there was, like, another show called, like, 10 Little Monsters. Mm-hmm. And it was based off of, like, the book. So a lot of these were also based off of books. Arthur, George Shrinks, 10 Little Monsters. And they were so good, and they were written very well, and the animation was pristine. But it was on PBS, which was, like, the worst thing for them. Because you give any of those shows, like, an actual, like, Nickelodeon-style, like, national audience, and they do very well. And I always feel like they don't get that much attention because everybody else was watching Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or things like that.
Well, didn't the Magic School Bus, wasn't that on PBS?
The Magic School Bus was on PBS.
That one got a lot of attention, but I feel like
that was also picked up on network channels as well. So, like, Fox Kids had it, PBS Kids.
Well, we also have seen it in school, too. Like, they would play some episodes in, like, science class for, like, the human anatomy for, like, those episodes and stuff like that.
Clouds!
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Nothing awkward about that.
But and then you had things like Arthur, and they were discussing, like, bullying and lying and, like, more common stuff. And because they were educational, they had to have lessons. Or Bankman's World, or Bill Nye the Science Guy, or there was another show called Between the Lions, and that had a predominantly African American cast. And then they had educational things, and what was really cool about Between the Lions was their, like, focus on vocabulary. Those are some of the biggest words that I've ever seen on a show, and shit like that was crazy. And not only was it, like, not shitty, but it was educational. So you have a Jack Russell Terrier running around telling you how Time Machine was actually written and how that was super famous.
And the only way to get that to happen as an adult, lots of LSD. And with that, another episode of Friends Talking Nerdy is in the books. Thanks once again for listening to episode 23. Next week, we will continue the conversation about cartoons from the 90s, so feel free to check in for that next Thursday. And also the next episode is going to be a special one because we are looking at episode 24. That is 6 months of Friends Talking Nerdy. If you've been listening from day one, thank you. If you've just started listening today, thank you. We all appreciate your listening to the show and help spread the word. Subscribe to the podcast, but if you like it, spread it on social media. Help us out. Put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Next week, expect to hear some special words from Ray, Sterling, Maura, Noel, and maybe a surprise guest. We'll see. I don't know. But episode 24 will be part 2 of the cartoon conversation. So until then, see you next week.
Do you think Angelica was right about the favorite?
Nah, she couldn't be. If Daddy or Mommy had a favorite, they'd be much nicer to him.
You're right. She'd be treated a lot better.
And Mommy and Daddy treat us both the same.
Right, exactly the same.
There, perfect. Here, kid. Here you are, Philip.
And there's more where that come from, big boy.
Nighty-night, favorite.
Nah, can't be.
If you need anything else, just let us know.
Nighty-night, favorite. No, it can't be. Can it?
Phil, you're the favorite, aren't you?
Me? You always get the best stuff.
Then how come your Reptardo has all his teeth?
Yours does too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how come you got the purple one and I only got green?
'Cause green's your favorite color.
Oh, yeah.